What's up, YouTube? We back. I promised y'all I was gonna keep it coming, keeping it diverse. And I watched Last of Us season 2, episode 1. And I said, all right, I'm gonna do a review, and I'm gonna watch them all one by one. We're gonna keep this going. So let's get right into it. If you're not familiar with The Last of Us, it's a PlayStation franchise which became a TV show on HBO Max. And to be honest, The Last of Us probably like one of the first games that I bought starting to play video games probably like early 2020. Was in the house a lot, wasn't really too much going on, and me and wifey ordered a PlayStation 4, and that was one of the first games that we had ordered. So when I heard about a TV show coming out with it, I was like, yeah, I was kind of psyched to see it because I played the game, and I was a fan of the franchise. Joel and Ellie, they still inseparable. If you don't know, Joel is a middle-aged man who lost his daughter in the first season, and he met Ellie on his travels with some friends that was his and took on the responsibility of taking on Ellie. And while a few of his old friends didn't make it, Joel was kind of reluctant at first to, take responsibility of Ellie because he looked at it like she wasn't his daughter and he was still grieving his own daughter. So he didn't care for it that much. But we all know how time works and all of that. So over time, he began to love Ellie like his daughter. And they've been through hell and back together. I advise you to watch the first season so you can get yourself all caught up in Joel and Ellie's situation. So it first start off, they draw you in with some good music, some beautiful nature. You know how Last of Us is. It's classic Last of Us with the good music. And, they bring it in like that. And then they give us a new cast of characters from the beginning. Paying their respects to a group of fireflies. You can see the firefly necklaces on their tombstones and all of that. But they get cut off right in the middle of that, what seemed to be this girl who seemed to be hell bent on finding Joel. And I really didn't know who she was in the beginning. And as I pay attention, it's Abby. And Abby is a real of Joel and Ellie. And y'all will learn that, longer on into the series as well. And you could just tell by how Abby spoke that she was the leader of this group of people that they showed in the beginning. So make sure y'all keep an eye on Abby. Basically what I'm saying, don't sleep on Abby. She gonna be doing a lot of sliding in the future. So then it jumped 5 years, and I guess it's supposed to be current times when it jumped to 5 years. And it's funny, and it's in a misleading kind of way, kind of funny because you see Ellie fighting with this grown man, and really it looked like they having a real fade, but turned out they're just doing training. It's like training camp. And I think it's important in those kind of communities for them to train the kids young because in those survival communities and like them dystopian worlds, them adults that be like on the road, they treat kids like adults. Like they'll fight them and rob them, kill them. They'll treat them as if they was adults. So it was funny that they show Ellie doing training with an adult. Now you got this new situation where Ellie in season 2, where she seemed to be like caught in this love triangle with Dina and a guy named Jesse. Dina played by Isabella Merced, and Jesse played by Young Mazzino, which seemed to be they already in love with each other and have a situation, but Dina seemed to be falling for Ellie as well. So that's gonna be interesting to see in the future how that play out. So it skipped to Dina vibing with Joel, getting a little bit of repairing electronics lessons, and at the same time finding some things out that she want to know about Ellie so she could get closer to her and vibe with her. At the same time, get to know Joel because if she gets cool with Joel, then it brings her and Ellie closer as well. So she played that well. And it skipped to Ellie bonding with Joel's brother, getting some zombie target practice in. The funniest thing with their encounters and interactions is him trying to stop her from telling everybody that she immune, and she do it just to press his buttons. I think that's funny. But he took a little serious note and urged her why it's important for her not to tell people and explain it could cause an uproar where they live at. The mom from Home Alone is in here, Catherine O'Hara. She played Joel's therapist, and their situation is kind of funny as well because she tried to keep a balance of being his therapist, knowing that he was the one that shot her husband. I hate to give the spoilers out, but if you see this, if you're watching this video by now, then of course you probably saw the show. So her and Joel always link up for his therapy sessions. And at least once in a therapy session, she always got to mention, how she missed her husband, and which is warranted. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's wrong that she do that. She got a right to. But they put Ellie on patrol. Ellie joined patrol. That'll keep her busy. Where she now get to work with Dina boyfriend Jesse. and a few other people who seemed like they was cool, the other cast of characters that was patrol. And it's crazy because even though, the whole world went to shit and they got to stay aware all the time, Last of Us always give us these backdrops of these beautiful, you know, nature settings and mountainry, and that always catch me every time. It's something beautiful up there in Seattle, man. Sasquatch country. We'll get into that another time though. Now, of course, Ellie and Dina, they run ahead of everybody else, spotting the blood trail, and they decide to follow the blood trail, which ended up leading them to dead bears and wasted clickers and all kind of stuff they ran into out there. And Ellie was ambitious to investigate as usual, to go inside of the building, but Dina was kind of urging her not to. She reminded her that it was only during recon and that they're not supposed to, edge on to going and look into things. It was only recon. Of course, Ellie, she not listening to nobody, and she went along with Dina following her, of course. And they run into some scary shit. So when they get into this place, they run into a whole gang of clickers and a whole bunch of other zombies. They try their best to make a diversion so Dina could go that way and Ellie could lead them this way. And they had the dip set. They wasn't there too long. I mean, at least about 2-3 minutes, she got into a fight with a clicker, got threw on the ground, and they had the dip set. But it's something special about the special effects on this one. You could see with the detail of all the clickers and just the fight scenes. They added a lot of special effects in this one. That made it look real good. I like that. After you watch the first episode, you know exactly what I mean. You'll see the special effects and the details of the clickers. And I appreciated that. They hold the meeting at Town Hall. Then it skipped to New Year's 2029 dance. And for me, this was the first time I got to see actually what year that they was living in. I never noticed before what year this was all taking place in. But once I saw the banner up for the New Year's 2029 party, I said, okay, all right, we in 2029. So it's 4 or 5 years from now that all this is taking place. Now, during the party, Ellie tried to daydream and she was fanning out over Dina, watching her dance, move around. And then she get interrupted by Jesse, and they have a little conversation, and Dina and Ellie end up sharing an intimate moment and an intimate dance. And I think Jesse stepped off. I don't know if Jesse saw this. They never showed if Jesse actually saw them dancing. But I think that was a cool scene. When you see Ellie with Dina, you could tell, like, Ellie got a tough exterior. She tough or whatever. But when it come to Dina, you could see her soft side kind of come out. And I mean, I love that about Ellie and Dina. They official. But of course, just like everything else, it got to be something. So it was an elder in there that really wasn't feeling the fact that her and Dina was dancing together. And he thought it was inappropriate for them to be dancing in a church with all those people around with each other like that. And it caused a little, little words back and forth with him and Ellie. And then Joel stepped forward. Ellie got upset at Joel for saying something to the guy, which caused her to scream at Joel. And she ran out of the party. During the end of the episode, they showed the vine and the fungus right inside of the town, inside of the water drain or the pipes underground. You could see the fungus running right through there. And I think that's going to be a serious problem for them in the future. And I told y'all Abby was going to be a problem because I think she just reached where Joel and Ellie is living at. Do y'all think she going to take on Ellie and Joel? Y'all think she got a chance in a city full of all of those people? Let me know in the comments and stay on point because I'm going to do a review for episode 2 real soon.